What about the sport of cycling intimidates me? Well, not too much really, except maybe altitude or climbing. Climbing at altitude. I've lived at sea level my whole life, and going over an overpass is considered a large climb for me. But I really look forward to the challenge of the big climbs at the high altitudes at the Leadville 100. Hello, this is Chris Elswick from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I am 53 years old, and this is my video submission for From the Ground Up Leadville Trail 100. I am currently the billing manager for a national law firm and a part-time troubadour doing solo acoustic gigs at bars, restaurants, resorts, and festivals all throughout the area. I have a great family with my wife of 29 years and our two daughters, ages 28 and 19. As a kid, I would ride my bike from sunup till sundown. But by the 80s, I had discovered surfing, and that was my new passion. And I didn't really get on a bike again until around 1989, when my college roommates and I decided to get some bikes and hit the dirt. No dirt pile was safe from us, but we did manage to travel to Georgia, North Carolina, to do some races and ride some trails. It was a great way to meet people, see new places, and learn new things. And most of all, it was just a whole lot of fun. By the end of 1991, we had all graduated, got married, moved away, had kids, and put our bikes away for the next 25 years or so. A few years ago, my brother-in-law Dominic was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Dominic was a former Marine and an all-around great guy. He had a cruiser bike in his garage that he could no longer ride because of his health, and he wanted me to have it. I reluctantly accepted his offer, even though I figured I would probably never ride the bike. But after storing the bike in my own garage for over a year, my wife finally convinced me to start taking some rides with her around the neighborhood. We started off with a few short rides around the neighborhood, but eventually progressed into doing some 20-mile rides. On one of our rides, I just happened to have a mechanical right in front of our local mountain bike park. While I waited in the parking lot for my wife to ride home and get the car to come back and save me, I saw all the mountain bikers riding past in the single track, and it brought back a flood of great memories from 30 years ago. One thing led to another, and the next week I bought a used mountain bike. Then in March, our world changed. Luckily for me, I was able to work from home, meaning that instead of driving an hour and a half every day to and from work, I could spend an hour and a half every day riding my bike. So I started riding our local mountain bike park. It's 5 miles from my house, and I could barely get there the first day. The first few weeks I rode out there, I could barely make it around the entire loop without stopping. There was definitely a lot of pushing and walking involved. But after a few weeks, I was able to ride from home to the trail and back, which made a nice 17-mile loop. It's a fast, flowy trail with lots of steep ups and downs, and no real climbing other than climbing over this bridge that goes over the waterway. I eventually worked up to where I could do some 30-mile rides and was having a blast doing it, riding every morning before work and on weekends. December 9th started off like most days, a chilly morning ride before work. But today, on a section of trail, that I've ridden hundreds of times, I had a pedal strike. Ended up going over the bars and landing on my head and shoulder. I ended up in the ER with a stage 3 AC separation, which doctors said would take 8 to 12 weeks to heal. During my recovery time, I tried to stay active by taking walks and stretching, and by January 1st, I rode around the block for the first time. And by January 31st, I was back on the bike full time and set a new personal record on the local trail, and even set one of the top 10 best times of the year so far. One thing I've learned over the past year is to appreciate my health and to not take it for granted. I had one brother-in-law die last year from cancer at age 49, and another brother-in-law is still recovering from complications from a heart transplant he had when he was in his mid-40s. I'm so grateful for my health, and I feel like mountain biking has given me a new lease on life. I've lost 30 pounds since March, and even though I could stand to lose 30 more, I think I'm on the right track. With the support of From the Ground Up and all the sponsors, I could take it to the next level and set an example for all those people who thought it was too late to get off the couch and do something. Thank you for watching.